Hello, dear friend. Thank you for spending a moment here at Books and More. We believe that profound knowledge should be accessible to everyone, which is why we curate the essential truths from life-changing books, helping you save time while preserving every bit of their core value and wisdom. In a world that feels increasingly uncertain, where we often wonder whom to trust or how our future will unfold, we find ourselves at a remarkable crossroads. Today, we are exploring a vision that is as profound as it is revolutionary through the book The Truth Machine, Blockchain and the Future of Money. This work is not merely about technology or digital currency. It is about the very fabric of human connection and the restoration of trust in a fractured age. Can we imagine a society where transparency and fairness belong to everyone rather than being guarded by a powerful few? What if we could build a world where the truth is no longer a matter of opinion but a shared reality that empowers every individual on this planet? I know that the fast-paced changes of our era can sometimes feel overwhelming, perhaps even a little frightening, but let this journey be a source of calm and clarity for you. True knowledge is more than just information. It is a bridge to a more secure and purposeful self. You are never alone in your quest for understanding, and we are honored to walk this path of discovery beside you. I wish you an open mind and a peaceful heart as we step into these transformative pages together. Let our journey begin now. Preface and Introduction: The Truth Machine and the Future of Trust. In our previous work, The Age of Cryptocurrency, we explored the potential for a fairer global transaction system that could operate without the need for traditional banks or intermediaries. As that book was heading to press, it became increasingly clear that the core technology behind it, the blockchain, was emerging as a much broader solution to the age-old problem of trust. This realization had a profound impact on our lives. Michael Casey even decided to leave a 23-year career in journalism to focus full-time on this research at the MIT Media Lab. There, alongside a dedicated team, we began to see the birth of an Internet of Value, a decentralized model that parallels the early development of the Internet itself. In the modern economy, whoever controls information controls the world. Currently, that power is centralized in the hands of a few tech giants like Google and Facebook. They collect and store our data to suit their own business models, often leaving individuals with little to no control over their own digital footprints. Blockchain offers a way to shift this power from centralized entities to a decentralized system where individuals can manage their own data. To understand the magnitude of this change, one only needs to look at the Azraq refugee camp in the desert of Jordan. Tens of thousands of Syrian refugees live there, in an environment where traditional institutions like banks or government registries simply do not exist. We witnessed how the World Food Program used blockchain to help these refugees receive food rations through a simple iris scan. In this system, the eye serves as a digital wallet, allowing people to prove their identity and access resources without the need for physical cash or vulnerable identity papers. This is more than just a distribution method. It is a way of building social capital and trust from the ground up in a place where it was previously non-existent. It provides an immutable and transparent record of transactions that is not controlled by any single middleman. The potential of blockchain extends far beyond humanitarian aid. It is poised to replace outdated, centralized models of trust management across the entire global economy. Whether it is creating tamper-proof property registries, enabling instant bank-to-bank settlements, or protecting the intellectual property of artists, blockchain provides a new foundation for human interaction. While there are certainly risks and speculative bubbles associated with this new technology, we believe it remains a powerful tool for social organization. blockchain is ultimately about more than just money. It is a framework for managing communities and preserving our humanity in a digital age. We are standing at the beginning of a genuine economic revolution, and ensuring it develops in a way that benefits everyone requires the attention and cooperation of all sectors of society. The foundations of trust and the governance of our digital world. You might be surprised at the most revolutionary idea shaking the global financial order today is not a complex new stock option or a political manifesto, but something as humble as an accounting ledger. For thousands of years, ledgers have been the unsung heroes of civilization, from the ancient clay tablets of Mesopotamia to the double-entry bookkeeping developed during the Renaissance. Ledgers have provided the essential records that allow us to trust one another across great distances and among people who do not know each other. Without them, the large-scale societies and vibrant cities we inhabit today would simply be impossible. However, a deep-seated problem has plagued these records for centuries. The people who control the ledgers can manipulate them. We saw this reality explode in 2008 with the collapse of Lehman Brothers. That crisis was not just about a lack of money, it was a catastrophic failure of trust. A pillar of Wall Street had used accounting tricks to hide massive debts, presenting a polished version of the truth to the public while keeping the grim reality buried. In the wake of that devastation, a mysterious figure known as Satoshi Nakamoto introduced a radically different way of maintaining records through Bitcoin. While much of the world focused on the digital currency itself, we were captivated by the underlying protocol, the blockchain. We call it the truth machine. Instead of a single bank or a central government holding the master record, blockchain distributes that responsibility to a global network of independent computers. Through sophisticated mathematical algorithms, these computers constantly check and cross-reference each other's work to reach a common consensus on every new entry. Once a transaction is recorded and accepted by the network, it becomes immutable, a permanent, unchangeable part of history. This creates a version of the truth that is more objective and reliable than any record held by a human institution. It allows us to exchange value directly, person to person, removing the need for slow, expensive intermediaries who have historically acted as gatekeepers to our economic lives. This shift toward decentralization is essential because of the way our digital economy has evolved. Today, the internet is not the flat, open playground we once dreamed of. Instead, it is dominated by a few massive, trusted third parties like Google, Facebook, and Amazon. In this current model, our personal data has become a new form of currency, yet we have almost no control over it. These companies collect our habits, our secrets, and our relationships to fuel their own business models. This extreme centralization creates massive honeypots of sensitive information that are irresistible to hackers, leading to security breaches that cost the global economy trillions of dollars every year. We witnessed the abuse of this power in various ways, such as when high-level officials used their platform's God view to track the movement of passengers without their consent. These centralized systems are not only a threat to our individual privacy, but also act as an inefficient tax on our economy, excluding billions of people who lack the credentials to enter the traditional financial system. Blockchain offers us a different path forward. It allows us to rethink security and trust from the ground up. Rather than building higher walls around a central database, we can distribute data so that there is no single point of failure. In a decentralized world, each individual manages their own identity and their own assets through secure cryptographic keys. This doesn't just make hacking more expensive and less profitable for criminals, it restores our autonomy as citizens of the digital age. We believe this is the missing piece of the internet, a foundation for an internet of value where transparency and self-sovereignty are built into the code. As we move away from the outdated, centralized models of the 20th century, we have the opportunity to build a global economy that is more inclusive, more efficient, and fundamentally more honest. This is the true promise of the truth machine, and it represents a change that will define how we interact, govern ourselves, and define our future. Infrastructure and the token economy, the architecture of a new financial world. Building a decentralized economic system with a network of independent and anonymous computer owners is not just a difficult technical challenge, it is a profound political undertaking. The success of any digital currency or blockchain network hinges on designing the right set of rules, software protocols that allow participants to interact without a central authority. Satoshi Nakamoto achieved a historic breakthrough by combining cryptography with a clever economic incentive system. Through a process known as proof of work, miners compete to solve complex mathematical puzzles requiring a significant investment in electricity and computing power. This combination of math and real-world cost created the first immutable, censorship-resistant record of truth. We often refer to this as the holy grail of the cypherpunk movement, a community that spent decades searching for a way to track credit and debt among people without a centralized bank. By making fraud prohibitively expensive rather than simply illegal, blockchain provided a foundation of trust in an environment where none previously existed. However, as these networks grow, we have learned that the code itself is never the final word. Governance is where the real complexity lies. Bitcoin experienced its own internal civil war as the community grew larger and more diverse. This conflict centered on a seemingly small piece of code, the 1 megabyte limit on the size of a block. This technical constraint created a massive bottleneck, limiting the number of transactions the network could process and leading to skyrocketing fees. On one side, the big blockers wanted to increase the limit to compete with global payment systems like Visa. On the other side, the small blockers feared that larger blocks would make mining too expensive for individuals, leading back to the very centralization Bitcoin was designed to avoid. This struggle demonstrated that managing a blockchain is not just about managing a ledger, it is about governing a community. The eventual split that created Bitcoin Cash and the implementation of solutions like SegWit and the Lightning Network showed that innovation often has to happen in layers, keeping the core protocol simple and secure while building complex applications on top. This architectural shift is now powering a broader transformation we call the token economy. During the boom of 2017, we saw the rise of initial coin offerings, or ICOs, which raised billions of dollars in record time. While many of these projects were speculative, the underlying concept was revolutionary. We are now able to create unique digital assets that represent specific resources or utilities within a community. Take the example of the Brave software project and its basic attention token. Brave is attempting to fix the broken digital advertising industry by recognizing that our attention is a valuable resource that is currently being exploited by middlemen. In this new model, users can be rewarded for their attention, and advertisers can reach their audience without the massive fraud and data mining inherent in the current system. This is a way of solving the tragedy of the commons by using programmable money to align individual incentives with the goals of the whole community. Tokens are fundamentally different from traditional currencies because they are programmable. They allow us to embed instructions directly into the value we exchange, ensuring that it is used for its intended purpose, whether that is accessing decentralized storage or proving the authenticity of a virtual item in a game. This is ushering in what some call the golden age of open protocols. In the early days of the internet, the creators of protocols like the one for email could not capture the value they created. Today, developers can build open systems and issue tokens that increase in value as the network grows, attracting the world's best engineering talent to build public goods. This represents a massive shift in how we fund and organize innovation. moving away from the closed, proprietary models of the past toward a more collaborative and transparent future. As we look toward this future, the vision expands into a multi-asset digital world where almost anything of value can be represented on a blockchain. We are moving toward a reality where we might not even need a single common currency to trade. If we have computer programs powerful enough to create instant markets between any two assets, we could trade fractional ownership of a painting for electricity or a ride-to-work token. While there are significant hurdles to overcome, including the need for scalable plumbing and the skepticism of regulators, the momentum is undeniable. We are building the infrastructure for a more inclusive global economy where the rules are transparent, the truth is verifiable, and value can flow freely among all participants. This is not just a technological upgrade. It is a new way for humanity to coordinate and thrive in the digital age. Driving the fourth industrial revolution and the adaptation of the giants. Imagine you are sitting at home watching a show on your smart TV. It is easy to think of yourself simply as a consumer of entertainment, but you are actually a citizen of a new hyper-connected future. Your TV is just one of billions of devices in the Internet of Things, a vast network where everything from your car to your refrigerator is now capable of talking to others. We have reached a point where the network itself has become the computer, and processing power is no longer trapped in a single box, but is instead distributed across the planet. This is the heart of what many call the fourth industrial revolution. However, this level of connectivity brings a terrifying risk if we continue to rely on centralized control. If a single entity manages these billions of devices, we are essentially building a massive target for hackers. A breach in a centralized system could allow someone to take control of an airplane, shut off a power grid, or even disable a person's pacemaker from thousands of miles away. To save this connected world from its own vulnerabilities, we have worked alongside researchers at places like IBM to explore a concept called device democracy. We believe blockchain is the only framework capable of managing this scale, while ensuring that no single company or government has total control. In this vision, devices are given their own digital agency. Picture your Tesla electric car driving through a remote town and running low on power. In a decentralized energy economy, your car could automatically negotiate and pay a local homeowner for a quick charge using a micropayment channel. This transaction would be secured by an immutable ledger, allowing two complete strangers and their machines to trust each other without ever needing an intermediary. This shift from centralized honeypots of data to a distributed model is what will ultimately make the Internet of Things safe and functional for everyone. This transformation is perhaps most urgent in the energy sector. For over a century, our power grids have been centralized, inefficient, and vulnerable to both physical and cyber attacks. By using blockchain-based microgrids, like the one we observed in Brooklyn, neighbors can share and trade solar energy directly with one another. This doesn't just reduce the waste that occurs during long-distance transmission, it empowers local communities and breaks the monopoly of traditional utilities. The same logic applies to global supply chains. We saw the devastating impact of the E. coli outbreak at Chipotle, where the company struggled for months to find the source of the contamination. If every step of a cow's journey from a ranch in Australia to a restaurant in Denver were recorded on a blockchain, we would have absolute transparency. We could isolate a problem in seconds, forcing suppliers to act more ethically and giving consumers the peace of mind that comes from knowing exactly where their food began. The momentum of this technology has become so powerful that even the giants of Wall Street, who once dismissed Bitcoin as a toy or a tool for criminals, have begun to move. In August of 2015, the establishment officially embraced the ledger when the startup Symbiont launched a platform for smart securities right in the shadow of the New York Stock Exchange. The banks finally realized that the underlying technology of Bitcoin could solve their most expensive problem, the plumbing of the financial world. Currently, settling a simple stock trade can take days or weeks as it passes through a series of clearinghouses and custodians, tying up trillions of dollars in collateral. By using a shared, distributed ledger, these banks can settle transactions in minutes, freeing up an enormous amount of capital for the global economy. However, the way large corporations approach this technology is quite different from the original vision of the cypherpunks. Instead of open public networks where anyone can participate, banks and tech giants are building permissioned or private blockchains. Projects like R3 and Hyperledger are designed to give companies the benefits of a distributed ledger while maintaining control over who can see the data and join the network. They want the efficiency of blockchain without the radical transparency of Bitcoin. This has created a new kind of tension between the ideal of a truly open system and the reality of corporate interests. While these private ledgers can certainly improve the back-end operations of a bank, they risk recreating the same silos and gatekeepers that led to the 2008 financial crisis. We have also seen influential figures like Blythe Masters champion the idea that blockchain can act as a stabilizing force for the entire market. By providing a transparent, real-world view of all outstanding obligations and debts, the technology could prevent the kind of systemic collapse that occurred when no one knew who was truly solvent. Beyond the private sector, even central banks are now racing to develop their own state-backed digital currencies. This represents a fundamental shift in the nature of money. If a central bank issues digital currency directly to citizens, it could bypass the traditional banking system altogether, offering a more stable and inclusive way for people to store their wealth. Ultimately, we are witnessing an historic collision between three great centers of power: Silicon Valley, Wall Street, and the government. Each is trying to bend the blockchain to its own needs. Large corporations are naturally inclined to build closed proprietary systems that protect their dominance. However, if we look at the history of the internet, we see a recurring lesson. Open protocols, like the one that powers the web, eventually win out over closed intranets like AOL. We believe the same will be true for the blockchain. While the giants may find ways to use this technology to improve their efficiency, the most profound innovations will come from open networks that allow anyone, anywhere, to create and exchange value. This isn't just a technical debate. It is a battle for the soul of the digital economy, and the outcome will determine whether the fourth industrial revolution leads to greater centralized control or a new era of individual empowerment. Blockchain for social good and self-sovereign identity, unlocking capital and reclaiming the digital self. In the Bajo Flores neighborhood of Buenos Aires, there is a small street called Chirua that stands as a beacon of hope amidst an otherwise impoverished shantytown. For decades, the families here lived in precarious homes, but today, they enjoy a level of stability and prosperity that their neighbors lack. The secret to their success was not a sudden influx of cash or education, but rather the hard-won acquisition of property titles. By securing legal recognition of their homes, these families gained a place in society, the ability to lobby for public services, and most importantly, the power to use their property as collateral for loans to build businesses. This story perfectly illustrates the vision of the Peruvian economist Hernando de Soto, who argues that the lack of formal property rights traps trillions of dollars in what he calls dead capital. We believe that blockchain technology is the most powerful tool we have ever seen to bring this capital back to life by creating transparent, immutable registries that the poor can finally trust. The problem in many parts of the developing world is that government registries are either non-existent or riddled with corruption. When records are kept in fragile paper books or on centralized databases controlled by biased officials, the vulnerable are often at the mercy of those in power. A blockchain registry changes the equation by providing a decentralized and tamper-proof record of ownership. Every step of the process, from land surveys to neighbor testimonials, can be hashed and recorded with a permanent timestamp. This creates a chain of evidence that is incredibly difficult to manipulate, offering a level of security that can survive political upheavals. However, we must also be honest about the risks. If a corrupt official puts a fraudulent claim onto an immutable ledger at the very beginning, that lie becomes permanent. This is why the human work of building reliable institutions and verification processes outside the blockchain remains just as critical as the technology itself. The potential to unlock social good extends far beyond land ownership. We are seeing innovative projects that use blockchain to track agricultural warehouse receipts, allowing small farmers to access credit without the fear of their paper receipts being forged or double-counted. In the energy sector, we are exploring how community-owned microgrids can allow neighbors to trade solar power directly with one another. By using smart contracts and digital tokens, we can create a system where a retiree in one part of the world can safely invest in a clean energy project in another, with the blockchain managing every micropayment and proof of delivery automatically. This level of granular automated trust is exactly what is needed to bypass the high fees and inefficiencies of traditional finance that have historically excluded the poor. While property rights define what we own, there's an even more fundamental crisis regarding who we are. According to the World Bank, over 2 billion people currently lack any form of official identity, leaving them unable to open bank accounts, travel, or even vote. In the developed world, we face the opposite problem. We have given away our digital identities to a handful of tech giants like Facebook and Google. We are working with initiatives like ID 2020 to champion a new model called self-sovereign identity. The core idea is that you, and not a corporation or a government, should be the ultimate source of truth about yourself. By using public key cryptography, each individual can manage a digital wallet of verified attributes, claims from schools, employers, or hospitals that they can disclose at their own discretion. This shift toward decentralized identity allows for a concept we call selective disclosure. Think about the simple act of proving you are old enough to buy a drink at a bar. With a traditional ID, you have to reveal your name, your address, and your exact birth date just to prove a single fact. In a blockchain-based system, you could use a zero-knowledge proof to provide a mathematical certainty that you are over 21 without revealing any other personal information. This isn't just a technical convenience, it is a fundamental restoration of human agency and privacy in a world of total surveillance. Whether it is protecting undocumented immigrants from being tracked through centralized databases or giving refugees a portable identity that stays with them across borders, blockchain provides a way to secure our humanity in the digital age. We believe that by moving away from centralized honeypots of data, we can build a global society that is more inclusive, more secure, and fundamentally more respectful of the individual. We are standing at the threshold of a new era, where the truth about our assets and our identities is no longer a privilege granted by a third party, but a right that we hold in our own hands. Personal creativity and the Constitution for the digital age, reclaiming our agency in the era of automation. We want you to consider a reality that strikes at the very heart of our professional lives. For centuries, we have built a middle class around the management of trust. Accountants, lawyers, bankers, and insurance agents are the gatekeepers who verify the truth for the rest of society. However, as we move into the era of the truth machine, these roles are facing an unprecedented challenge. The Big Four accounting firms, Deloitte, PwC, Ernst & Young, and KPMG, are already investing heavily in blockchain because they understand that when records become immutable and self-verifying, the traditional need for an auditor to spend months reviewing quarterly statements begins to evaporate. If a computer can verify a transaction in seconds with absolute certainty, the job of the human middleman becomes redundant. This represents what could be the largest labor reorganization in history, threatening to hollow out the white-collar workforce just as automation once did to the factory floor. Yet we do not view this shift as a tragedy. Instead, we see it as a long overdue opportunity to reclaim our creative agency. For over a decade, we have been living in a model where we, the users, are actually the product. Every time we share a thought on Facebook or a photo on Instagram, we are contributing to the wealth of massive corporations while receiving very little in return beyond a platform to speak. Blockchain allows us to flip this power dynamic. By turning our digital output into unique, owned assets, we can finally control our own data and receive fair compensation for our creativity. We have seen the beginnings of this with artists like Imogen Heap, who explored how smart contracts could ensure that every person involved in a song's creation, from the singer to the engineer, is paid instantly and transparently. This vision moves us away from a world of exploitative platforms toward a collaborative internet of value where everyone is recognized as a creative individual. As traditional jobs disappear, society will be forced to rethink how we distribute wealth and maintain social cohesion. While many are discussing universal basic income, we encourage a shift in focus toward what we call universal basic assets. What if every citizen owned a stake in the infrastructure of the digital age, such as a fractional share of a local microgrid or an open data commons? In this scenario, we aren't just recipients of a government check, we are owners of the resources that power our world. This leads us to a philosophical crossroads once imagined by Oscar Wilde, who dreamed of a future where machines would handle all the drudgery, freeing humanity to pursue art, science, and the soul of man. The Truth Machine provides the technical framework to make that leisure and creativity economically viable for the masses rather than just a privilege for the elite. However, to reach this future, we need more than just code. We need a new digital constitution. We are witnessing a historic collision between the great centers of power, Silicon Valley, Wall Street, and the government. Each is trying to shape the blockchain to suit its own interests, whether for profit, control, or surveillance. We believe the true promise of this technology lies in its ability to protect the individual from these centralized forces. Just as the Great Charter and the U.S. Constitution established the rules of a fair society in the physical world, blockchain acts as a set of rules for the digital world, a framework where transparency is built into the protocol and the truth cannot be overwritten by those in power. Ultimately, the sustainability of our democracy depends on the integrity of our information. In an era plagued by fake news and algorithmic bias, having a ledger that records human expression and transactions in a way that is permanent and verifiable is a revolutionary act. It restores the I in the digital age, ensuring that our identities and our contributions belong to us and not to a corporate server. As we stand at the end of this journey, we hope you see that blockchain is not merely a tool for finance, it is a social technology. It is a way for us to coordinate our efforts, protect our dignity, and build a global society where the truth is a public good, held in the hands of the people. The path forward is complex and full of political struggle, but the goal, a more honest and inclusive world, is within our reach if we have the courage to build it together. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button so that more people can know about it. Thank you for your support. wishing you a pleasant evening and happiness with your family. Goodbye and see you in the next videos.